Look, I love the fact that here we are after 24 years when we had a first gathering at the Melbourne Town Hall run by the Women's Coalition of Family Violence to commemorate the deaths and the violence, but beyond that, to raise awareness and tell people about what was happening. That here we are 24 years later and we're still engaged in the debate. Look, this is what I love most, that we're coming together and saying there's a question to be answered here. So I like the energy, and I'm uplifted when I talk to young women. It could be young women like you, it could be young women everywhere who are saying they can't believe that this goes on. You know, they can't believe some of the public narratives. It's the way newspapers might write about an isolated domestic incident, or a way a courtroom might talk about violence against women. So, to simplify that, I love the fact that we get together in big numbers and we say quite clearly the violence is real, because you won't conquer the violence until you accept that it's real. And now, 24 years after that big gathering in the town hall, there's hardly anyone who'll say publicly the violence isn't real.
Hundreds of people have marched through central Melbourne demanding an end to violence against women on the 10th annual White Ribbon Day. Community leaders say the movement is saving lives, but admit the figures on family violence show we have a long way to go.
Figures are astounding. Domestic violence affects 1 in 3 women. 1/3 of incidents are witnessed by children. It accounts for 40% of all murders and costs the economy $13 billion. It's community organisations that are helping turn the tide.
I think it's about getting out, being vocal, and everyone saying it's completely unacceptable.
You know, you go back to the number of women killed. Imagine if a whole football team in Melbourne was killed by the partners in their lives. I mean, there would be absolute outrage. But it happens, and it's still hidden away.
That we have a group of men in the community who, because of their choices, are costing us $3.4 billion in Victoria alone every year. It's the key driver of homelessness in Victoria. Over 50% of substantiated child protection cases include a factor of family violence. Over 62% of child deaths known to DHS. And I think sometimes when we talk about these statistics, people, men and women, can feel really uncomfortable because it's a gendered issue.
All of us are the cure. Each and every one of us has a voice, and my belief is that one person can make some noise, but many people can make the change.
And what do you think we can do in the community to help eradicate domestic violence?
Raise the profile, get it out there, get it well known, and as they say, don't be a bystander.
Yep.